Galamsey has destroyed our water bodies, destroyed most of our water bodies. Almost 90% of our water bodies have been destroyed due to Galamsey operations. Out of my cover by News Arena James, who punish shelter myself, subscribe to News Arena James, the latest news beyond Benjamin Biafre. I think me clue about why I'm saying Galamsey have destroyed our water bodies. I say Yensu Galamsey operations. I say Yensu. I say Yensu Papa Bianca Yenum and Kayena Nano Tetimono. In so talk qua im crapa or Mudu Bebia or Mutumium Sansa or Fom Crapo Enum. Now so name remain Bissau. Unam Quemcra now Unsu baby nice will come do or Quamwa Utimisa no mana Debbie. Sansa chemicals and Yama bus system Mosiciano hydrogen. I don't form also subscribe to News Arena James, but it's a school we beat and present us and be a little sus be berry. I think my call story no man. For some period of time now, no, we have been talking about Galamsey, say Yesu, say assassin. Mostly we have been focusing on assassin, no, but we have never talked about the water. In so say so to the extent say you see the water bodies, and I said the Ghana Water Company, no, issuing in such a way says there are some places the water treatment, you know, are moving to tomb. In some places that it will be coming. I won't say ends because Sansan says because person move to Tuma. I be affected Simemufono Aba Yentiminya and so unless it be a war bohu. Also na Sancrophone so Majuma Beba. By Bomba Samanico Sisa said Bema and so acquired now a bucket of water crapona acquired. Nina boils down to Galamsey. Now, Dentia maybe treating this topic no is very crucial. My fan from the time of our brother Galamsey and yet Galamsey like say a name a big topic, you know. From the beginning, you know, actually no. Now your friend is saying water company, Ghana Water Company for them. No much they were dealing with water treatment, you know. They were even using alum. Saying I name alum. Alum. Some man boy didn't use the ambit match them or comment section. Alum no a white something white be mostly they use they sanitize use ebia say what was sense no na a few ma to say bula ye kosa bula mostly o to say na a fin green yama bi wom won say the alum sa ade white bi gum say be sonny sa nyama no yes ebia obi a wonni sa fula and I say sa nyama na e di sonny nso no ana ebia alum no kwat me ye no better. It means Sonny at the no man coffin to Ubahuna Finu da from her. Now it means soon. Yes, so that was what they were using. At that time, no na Galamsey, no na sa excavator and Yaman said and Koso. And they were using those things during that era from 2007 more like back then. Galamsey and Yan Sasi. Back then. Now after na Galamsey so abekosra surabeye deno and they have to apply what we call the polymer, but polymer nakasa enye common. Most of the treating companies and I say water companies, you know, most of the treating sites now work Kurumhano. Omuchira nakasa is 18 treating sites and are affected with this Galamsey issue. We talk of Ashanti region, talk of places where Galamsey Adehini or Temale, all those parts no more. Yes, so but actually no, the most common treatment equipment amuta use pan any coagulant no. I don't know mudi edit sustaining, but by yentie this Penya or also other Ghana Water Company no chere say omuye no ochema omudi kan ye filtering sanse won say ye water bodies Ghana water bodies na asay afa no say Galamsey no asay nsuo na afa no enti no omudi kan ye like filtering omuye filtering and afa oma diffusing nsuo no say bia because of mercury ni sa nyama na egu nsuo no and sana beside mercury ni we no ka first like because of system weather climate in asifo no one say there are some areas we muso no sebi nkofo negunsum sebi no kra ne de e say nyina enim ebi muso ginso gunsum ntini nyina no they have to add some fusions some bed diluting so no say na be ya so ada ho krujin and I say e bia ankomaye yare my enti no ma say
I know where this is going, but what?
No, I'm not going anywhere. Me, I'm only asking questions.
The process that we go through to treat the water for you is what I first described: is coagulation, filtration, disinfection. Okay. Now, the coagulation process is just to introduce any of these two chemicals I spoke about into the water, so that it will draw down the suspended particles, so that we can get a clearer water to filter. And then after the filtration, we disinfect. Now, what we have done so far and what we have been doing with all other stakeholders coming on board to help us to do, the final water that we get to the people at the moment do not have any threatening level of heavy metals to anybody.
All right.
But the question is, for how long?
Okay.
And how sooner are we going to get to that level?
Thank you.
Good news is that at Ghana Water, we have, what do you call it? A plant located laboratories that will be carrying out quality every hour. So should we see or have any trace of this heavy metal from our final water, we will shut down immediately and stop.
Samutie papa in no masema. Or say treatment to the young so far, so better, so marvelous, so mancolosis, mentalaposis, incaput mentalitis, mentatosis. A scientist word na use no. That was just by the way. My young fanosa, na me a comedian and the ending in account be. Okay, you go serious matters. Serious matters in any say. Yanya on this same show, no credit to TV3. On this same show, no, a member and I say a part a student and I say obia onuswa kwadari eba chemicals ni toxication any some nyama no hono I oye toxicology and I said say I'm a body no toxicology say ye kan wo twi mu a edrobone a esa ye nsuo no mu wa kodare e wo sa aspect no mu enti ye frɛ no na ni contact say asema papa yi aka o chem say ye yusu sai ndro yi ani sa nyama edi treat ye nsuo na make we no polymer Musa mu use polymer so and aka polymer no na ye the highest no but polymer no omuntai en use san say ni boarding ni bosoro but enu kura bogabo no papa ye chirema aye toxicologist chirema even that treatment wo kwa no enye secure to say papa ye kan like 8 million 100%. You best 80%. Say you who so no say you clean. All right. I fit after to say I ta hu so to I fit no you fit sa pepe you pipe so you be my fit pepe no problem no doubt. Now so no treatment no be carry out akoye nyina wie no entimi fan compare natural water. Say it no. My enti papa ye no masem. Na ochema Papa,
then it means that lead and some of those things will be removed, right?
Yes.
But I mean, if I send according to the host or make mention of lead, and as I will know, mercury now, use during the time of illegal mining, no, I Galamsey no. Some mercury need chemicals na ya use wa yen so no. I know what you say, sir. That some metals no. And for me, I ain't mean fire ni where Pacho my into asem no so.
So I listened to the Mr. Kluche.
Yeah, because they use
Ghana water. Yeah, when it comes to Ghana water treatment, they use one of lack of better water, dechemicalization technique or coagulation.
Are you using dechemicalization?
I say in a context. Okay, because everything is actually chemical. So when they're trying to dechemicalize something, meaning take away every chemical, including the water itself. But in the sense of the EPA, I think we are focusing on the toxic component of these water bodies. So when they use the dechemicalization, it refers to maybe the chemical, chemical found in this water body. Now, coming back to the point of Ghana Water Company, when it comes to their treatment method, they use the coagulation method, and the coagulation method is just adding coagulants, and we have the alum. So alum is a coagulant, and also have the polymer. But so to speak, now they've shifted to polymer, but not all treatment plants or earthworks in Ghana actually uses the polymer. So now when you use these coagulants, it doesn't necessarily take away the heavy metals. The heavy metals, when the water is actually contaminated with the heavy metal continues to be in the water because the coagulant that is being used actually traps the debris, the particles that actually make the water heavy. So I think Ghana Water Company is trying to focus on reducing the turbidity so that it can get into the recommended WHO threshold, which is the 5 lepilometric turbidity unit. So
toxicologist. Pacho ya mfanche mwai. Ya school no there. Ya kakwemu kakra. Toxicologist echirima. Ose asema papa ya kan die. On the wateo. Na papa no kwa kaka ho aye water company papa yi. Echirima. Ose mamu worry. Nso idea so far as free a ho ba. Eyen so krojin. Mamu nsu. Unless e bia wo baby a wo dey nso na to no e na e bia e be determine say bia yare bi bebe mana ma yentie no ma so
information. Let our people let our listeners hear that our water is wholesome. They can drink it. They shouldn't have any problem. Okay. As long as it's coming from us direct. Where they store sometimes, and we don't know where they store it, that one we cannot vouch for it. But once it's coming from us direct, people should not be afraid. They can drink our water. It's wholesome.
All right.
Okay, see, where they store it, if I say polytank mo, so polytank no, at least I think say any crab should it be a year, and I say monthly. You have to be cleaning it. We will have to get that information. Say a year, and I say a month. You have to be cleaning it to make it look clean. And she said, I know what there, but. Toxic man also echirema o say papa ya say na o kenyi na do you there but no from the calculations anyway as a toxic person or tai experiment toxic munyama ne chemicals nyama ho there and then 100% my intino no mas.
Then it means that lead and some of those things will be removed, right?
Yes. So very, very expensive. And I believe the EPA unit. So this is not to say the water is safe, because the clarity of the water does not necessarily mean the water is safe for
Eti o chem say when you na omo ye nyina no say da mo use polymer so mo use coagulant dey am use bia no even though they are high chemicals are multimedi dilute and also multimedi diffusion so no say na be ya yentimi nya yare and I say infections bia no every so no still no when you na nche say ade na treatment when you na 100% secure say so entimi ema yare bia now so no there is another way round US for ayeda. But it cost them $1 billion. Now see, yepo yesika yesi. Now even IMF ya $6 million ikrabo akosi saying.
for consumption. So this actually are becoming alarming because now we need to actually look for an advanced technology that can remove these heavy metals, and this is very, very, very expensive. And I believe the EPA recently actually proposed a measure called the nanotechnology, which I think is near impossible in my space, because looking at the explanation being given and how nanoliquid is going to, or copper-based nanoliquid is going to be applied to water bodies, then we have to be ready to spend a lot, because in Ghana, for instance, our research shows that about 18 water bodies or rivers has been contaminated. Yes, and when it comes to decontamination or removing of these heavy metals, it has been tried in the US and other countries, but there's nothing like 100% detoxification system. And I think the one that was done in the US in Detroit River, they spent about $1 billion United States dollars in just removing some of 80% of the heavy metals from their water bodies. So 1 billion, and we have 18 water bodies being destroyed or being contaminated in our country. So imagine multiplying 1 billion United States dollars by 18. It's going to be about 18 billion United States dollars. And I think we are still grumbling with IMF 3 billion. So this is actually costly if you want to even employ. And remember, I listened to the EPA boss, and I think she did mention that they've tried it in vitro, meaning when we say in vitro, meaning it's done in a test tube in the lab, and it's actually feasible.
Thank you very much, Yakubu.
Adolfo, enti asem no o say e be ye den pa sansa ade no enye enda fom. Expenses no amode be ye sa ade no enda fom. Okay, quickly no, shifting from that no. Me fa we fa so so mam na ye fa see her. Now Adolfo me say subscribe to News Arena GH. So the latest to be on quickly no. One of the NDC partaker during the host show. Now also Emma some clue be say the Galamsey no say anka ebia ohini bia beti mi agina ne nan so say yehu dia Galamsey e dia yeyen ase yensuo ase asase. And as I say, our trees and other things. Now, yenim dia edria eyemaye by ecosystem. And I say beside the ecosystem, edria kwapuna is very way. Edria akonya edria nyama bebre. Krapo. I believe say edria so kan. Nyama bebre edria. Na ekotutu edria say person too good. Enti say and eduaso at times so eduaso eboa in calling of rain. Yes, I don't know how they say it happened, but scientists for nature say ba in so to mun na se for so eduaso ka ho e man so to. Enti say yes say yen so say asase we nyina mo na. O say baby mo otimi hu say e secure e good so say nso no affect ye ebe boy kakra voter region ne Greater Accra. Now these other parts regions are aka your 16 regions. These two regions are born in Greater Accra and voter region. There are goals in that land. Now I say I say ahimfo no omodium na asifom empene se obi be gala ewo ho. These other 14 regions no so ahimfo omodium na asifom say no. Yen call for a mam ye anaye mam concession say mo be tu galawa awa ha e be ye den na nkofo e betimi edi omo na akosi obi say aseso so obutu gala na so wo tu na si wo so wo si gala and dey be si bia be si maintain no ma
have been found to be outside the reach of Galamseyers, Volta region and Greater Accra. With the exception of these two regions, all the rest, the 14 other regions, one way or the other, are having to grapple with these Galamseyers. And you think there are no community leaders in these communities? How in God's name can you go to a village, okay, handled by a prominent chief, if the chief say my Asafu group will not allow you to be on our land. So maybe we've gotten to the point where the engagement should not just be at government level. And you see, I have always maintained that you see, once you make it a government problem, the Galamseyers are happy. You know why? Because it diverts attention from the people who are giving them the concession. And the people giving them the concession are our chiefs. Roland, I want to believe that of all the efforts we put in this Galamsey fight, until we get the prominent chiefs declaring their communities to be no-go area for Galamseyers, we'll also come back after 4 months. Look, this Galamsey conversation has been going on for the past 3 months continuously. The media has been on this. Possibly the media should be asking a critical question. How come that all these efforts by government is not achieving the desired impact? And I'll conclude on this. You see, the only thing that creates a problem is the debt that comes back to the river.
Unsustainable money.
Yes. So if we know the source of the debts, how come that we are not able, or the water bodies are not getting cleaner? Why? Because you see, by the time they will leave, another set will start. And like I pointed out, even for the Ankobra alone, 190 kilometers, you need to have 24-hour surveillance on 190 kilometer, of water body. The practical challenges, the logistics, the manpower. It is not a joke. So it is convenient to say, oh, President Mahama, and I'll conclude on this, declare a state of emergency.
Why not?
It's not convenient.
Just convenient for all of us.
But the results, if you declare a state of emergency, right, Prof, you are the professor, and you apply all these tricks, and the chiefs who live in the community still permit people to work under the cover of darkness, what will be the results? We'll come back to square one.
Everybody has to take responsibility.
We all need to be responsible. Do you know that you and I are in Accra? So pain.
Even though His Excellency John Dramani Mahama declared state of emergency, now ahimfufo no man from na yansi from some bema that state of emergency na ejuma koko si ochina ye besa akasa semu yasem akoye se osofo waka cho se ukoda anadwo a to punu enye sa akonfo bi ba bewi awo on a normal sense we close our door by dia we a prophecy aba na ukoda we bie punu ato ho a what will happen? Osofo not to be free if you and be say what to punu man pa na so want to and just say.
And thinking about people in our various communities, they are not looking at it as a problem.
Yeko gala,
yeko yam. And look, now kids are no longer going to school. You know their reason. They make more money if they go to yam, grind the soil and all those things. Why have we gotten the greed?
At the end of the day, it just speaks to the issue that the strategy is not working. We cannot do the same things all the time and expect.
Say Obia is our responsibility to keep our water bodies, our land safe. Out of our say, no meno say we are saying na yes, no poto bibia we na water afi ye Ghana Water Company for no month me and secure and so no my embioma and yeah. Infinite Konyanzono. Out of 4 me, someone stay tuned to News Arena J. Myself, subscribe to News Arena J. Send me a latest to be by you. Follow all social media handles. Follow on Trends, follow on X, on TikTok, News Arena J, on Facebook, News Arena J. Maybe a News Arena J. Send me a latest to be here. Also for Panic Shelter, Sabanis in the Macramo. Goodbye.